Kinfolk. Y'all already know what it is, what it was, and what it always will be. I'm right back at it like a crack at it in my seat as I should be. This is the Black Owned Podcast. I am your host, the main man with the game plan, and the game plan ain't the same plan. I've been a major figure since baby pictures. Janice's oldest boy, Sincere, is definitely in the building. I got my co-host with me. What's happening?
Yo. Hey, y'all, it's Peaches. Y'all know why I'm here.
You already know what it is. And we 3 deep today. But we got Doc Reed who's gonna be with us for today's episode since his post kind of spurned on the topic for today. Doc, oh man, he looked froze. Doc, you there?
Cloudy with a chance of rain.
I know. Okay, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, man, so this whole trip to Vegas.
I missed you.
It was time well spent there, fam. You know what I'm talking about? Good way to lay it out. Shout the candy man. You know what I'm talking about? We celebrated. We bought that 45 in big for him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Did that the right way. You know what I mean? Kinfolk was good. Mel, what's going on? That's our peeps over at the Eye of the Wonder network, not just the podcast, the network. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So make sure when y'all get a chance, y'all go over there and check them out. They're my boys. We actually did a little a show about manhood, man. Y'all make sure y'all check that out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all probably ain't gonna like what we gotta say, but so what? So what? Look, here you go. Here you go. Here you go. And you know what? We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Women don't really know what they want, John, all over again. So you can be there, and you know, what I mean, I can handle things the way it needs to be.
Are you ready for me? You
what?
Bring it on.
What?
That's what we doing.
What? We're gonna relieve Doc Reed for a minute till he tighten up right there. You know what I'm talking about? But Pete, come on now. You already know how I get down.
Yeah, I'm gonna be ready for you. I'm gonna be ready.
Yeah, you know I'm gonna have my facts and everything together. You know what I'm saying? So when, you know, you let me know when you ready. I'll go ahead. You know, split your head open.
I'm ready. I might have to call in the reinforcements.
You're gonna need them. You're gonna need some reinforcements. You hear me?
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't duck when you should have weaved. You hear me?
Okay.
Don't duck when you should have weaved. You hear me? So anyway, good show last week. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and again, a shout out to Chaz for coming in, holding it down.
Yeah,
appreciate you know what I mean? I appreciate it.
She didn't know about the Peaches picks or whatever. She kept on coming in there, you know.
I know, right? You know what I'm saying? I said,
yeah.
But most of the show, she looked like she was in shock too.
Really? You think so? I gotta go back and watch it.
She was in shock for most of the show. I was like, boy, did they go over this whole thing? You know what I'm talking about? But it was straight, man. It was a good little John. Luckily, I wanted to kind of try to make it, but luckily I didn't. You already had that together because I was late as hell getting to the room.
Hey, I don't know. Never would have made it. But no, wait. We're going to hop into these picks right quick.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing, you know what I'm saying?
Busy at this motherfucker, like we always do about this time.
Peaches picks, you hear me? Let's go.
Okay, y'all know on every channel, y'all keep hearing about the Derek Chauvin case, right?
Indeed.
You know, so a couple of times I've had the opportunity to pick up and look at it. When I tell y'all that Jerry Blackwell, when we keep upping people talking about doing it for the culture, this man is doing it for the culture.
Who's Jerry Blackwell?
He's the prosecuting attorney.
Okay.
Yeah, black guy. He owned it. His assistant been on it. That, you know, they catching him. When I tell you he's eating these expert witnesses alive, he's eating them just like a goddamn, not even Jaws. Just remember the other show back in the day, Piranhas, how they was on there.
Okay, yeah.
He on their ass, you know. Like, you know, good looking kind of I don't want to get my hopes up or whatever as far as, you know,
right.
In game, because you know how America is. Right. But you know, when I tell y'all this man is put us on his back,
that's what I'm talking about.
He is showing out, you know. My second pick is kind of y'all know I got two dead brothers and a brother that's in the feds again. And I want to talk about their language. You know, people language, like solid people. You know, it's like we done got to a world where like fake and phony is what's up. Like if
It's
you got
celebrated.
dollars to go behind it, that fake phony stuff is praised, and the people who are really like the good people that got your best interest at heart, they looked at as haters now. That's the term when they telling you about yourself. Oh, you a hater.
Right.
A lot of times when friendships, you always have different people play different parts, and they fall apart or they fail. Like something that was binded like good, a good bind is it fails because people forget or don't have regard for somebody else's language or whatever. And what I say that, I'm looking at the situation from the outside in, and y'all already know, like I'm a hood baby,
Solid.
D-Nice. So I come up a little different. And looking at my brothers and, that struggle when, that I came up through the crack era.
Right.
I know for a fact it ain't a lot of solid people out here. So when you get somebody solid on your team, respect them for that. Not telling y'all to hold them up in their BS or whatever, but a lot of y'all are falling out with good friends because y'all don't understand each other or whatever. But they say if ain't no sucker shit in you, ain't no sucker shit gonna come out of you.
That's a fact.
So a lot of people need to, do some chin checking and some self-realization or whatever. And then that friend, y'all falling out or everybody thinking they tripping or whatever. But the thing that y'all missing is the fact that your friend might be so upset because they built like that. They so solid that the stuff or the clown behavior that you're exhibiting, it wouldn't be something that they would do to you or they would see themselves in. So if I can't see myself in a position to do no sucker shit, I can't respect, that'll end a friendship for me,
Yeah, indeed. Unfortunately, I've found myself in a situation, and as it was happening, and it's I would never say that that I was like 100% right, but definitely about 99.7.
Okay.
And that's because I just kind of like I move in a certain way, and loyalty is at the front. You know what I mean? All the time. Sometimes
right
to your detriment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I move in a certain way, and people who know me know that if I have an issue, you know what I'm saying, with you, that I would come and be like, yo, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, is everything straight? You know what I mean? And I would expect that in return. You know what I'm saying? And when I don't get that, and I can see that, you moving funny, and I definitely act funny when I'm starting to
funny. Yeah.
yeah. So you would be able to, you should pick up on that and say, bro, like you a little bit like you're not your normal self, like what's going on? And then that would be able, you know what I'm saying? But I will cut a mug off quickly if I feel like you kind of like not giving me in return what I would give to you. Then I don't really have a space for you, you know what I'm saying, in my life.
It's too many snakes out here. So if y'all know somebody solid, built like that, a lot of them in prison or dead because of, that same fault. That give them their props, be that friend that you want, that they always been for you. Like a lot of times y'all misunderstandings be because of that. Like, I see my friend, we expect people to live in our image or whatever. And if I see somebody that I call a friend, I don't feel like they standing up or they not boogieing for me, like I'm a ride for them, I get up, rain, sleet, hail, snow. If it's like something with my friends, I'm coming. Right. And those things right there, nobody can't talk about my friends to me.
Right.
It's just not. My dude's mama can't even talk about him to me. It's just how I'm built. So a lot of times y'all falling out because you might be the fake one. And you can, and it's pushed up in the world. It's the way to go. Don't hurt people's feelings. Kind of like the goddamn bullshit that's coming to America. Oh, it was for the culture. Everything gets like you know, they done slick the sides. You know, it's a slippery slope. You either there or you gone. You know,
Yeah,
so,
you know what I'm saying. But
yes.
yeah, it's hard to find it's hard to find solid people out here. You know what I'm saying these days because we got all these other different, you know what I'm saying, ideals and definition on what is and what ain't. And then meanwhile, we celebrate people like Tekashi 6ix9ine and Bobby Shmurda come home and don't get the love that he deserves. You hear me?
Yeah. But
So,
all of it, you know, it's just crazy. Like I could sit in a room and hear a whole bunch of people talking, and out of the whole conversation that go on, the only thing that I get out of the situation is, oh, y'all ain't got one solid motherfucker on your team, and y'all talk about him. You know, like y'all looking crazy.
yep, y'all need to get it together. But
Yeah. But
yeah,
that
for sure.
loyalty, that honesty, and that doing people how you would expect them to behave or stand up for you. If you live by those, like people with principles, you know, it's kind. They come in. It's hard. They come in far and few between these days. You know, like, you know,
Facts.
find you some people that live by principles, and it'll be a lot of things that you will never fall out about.
Facts.
But that was
All right.
those two is my picks. You know, those just bother me. You know, but
Yeah. One thing that I meant to say at the beginning of the show that I just say right now is that's definitely rest in peace to DMX.
oh yeah.
Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? That was you know, he was a large part of, you know what I'm saying, my young and wild days.
Yours.
You know what I'm saying? I watched Belly at least 1,000 times. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? So yeah, rest in peace to DMX, man. I don't think he ever got the props that he deserved. You know what I'm saying? Even when he was as big as he was, I don't think he got the props that he deserved. But definitely he was, you know what I'm saying, top dog, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Easy.
The irony of it is I posted that thing or whatever that on my page that he was talking about the ability to see a fake,
Right.
you know, and respecting yourself, that, you know, that you have that vision to see them for who they is, you know, that
Mhm.
right there,
Yeah, that tell you everything.
that's tell you everything, you
Right.
know, how he stood. You know, they knew how he was coming. You know, you know, if he coming with his dog and in the black Air Force Ones, you
You
know,
hear me?
you finna get up off of
You
that.
got to deal with that.
You know, yeah, definitely rest in peace,
Yeah,
DMX,
rest in peace
a
to
true
DMX, man.
solid warrior. Hey, Chaz.
What up, Chad? Man down, appreciate you, my boy.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc Reed, you back at it. We in here. We in here like swimwear. You on mute, fam.
I thought we had some technical difficulties. I don't know
It's
what
all
happened when
good,
we first
man. You
came
know
on.
what I'm saying? It's all good, man. Doc Reed, man, love and light. That's the love and light guy right there. You know
Yeah,
what I'm talking about?
unity.
Unity. All right. Well, a good thing that you got in here at the time that you did, because we're gonna dive into this conversation about Black victimization. That kind of was brought on by a post that was on your page. So I'm gonna share that post here with everybody to watch. Then we'll get right into the conversation.
Okay.
Okay, is it just me or am I tired of the rhetoric that black people keep on pushing that we get killed for our existence and we get killed for just being black? Like, I'm honestly tired of hearing that same trauma fear-based narrative because we don't know how words work. We keep on speaking that upon ourselves. Also, it makes us look like some punks, makes us look very weak, and we wonder why we are placed at the bottom rung of society. Like, the more we keep on pushing that same narrative, the more weak we look. And I just know Shaka Zulu, Malcolm X, all the great ancestors that believe in strength are turning over in their graves, man. We gotta tighten up.
What you think about
I
that,
want to
Pete?
first ex anybody. I agree with him. How do y'all feel before I jump into it?
He sounds like some of these people that I served with until they went on deployment or whatever and realized who they really was to them people who they was upping. You know, he's young. He hasn't experienced life. He probably haven't traveled much outside of wherever he's posted this thing from. And he don't know how the world worked. Now some stuff might be victimization or whatever, but if you call a spade, how is it weak? So we supposed to tuck our tails and don't say nothing about it and start killing motherfuckers and then give them another reason to, and nobody knew the backstory behind why we shooting shit up. You got to make it make sense.
Right. So, but before I, say anything, I just want everybody before we start off, I want you to understand. Here's what the dictionary definition of victimization is, and it is the action of singling someone out for cruel or unjust treatment. The action of singling someone out for cruel or unjust treatment. If we had to say, if there were a single people in the United States of America who are singled out and unjustly treated, what answer would we come up with?
Us.
Yeah, us, absolutely.
Right. So I don't.
The
What I mean?
problem-
I mean, a lot of the things that Peter said is very accurate. You know what I'm saying? He a young man. You know what I mean? He probably need to experience a little more, life for him to really understand what's going to it. Are all his points invalid? No. But
they're not.
is his highest, is the ultimate definition of what he's saying right? No, it's mostly incorrect. You know what I'm saying? But what I don't like about Black victimization is exactly this type of thing where you have a Black person who says, "Oh no, we're not victims." Now we're not victims in the manner of we just walk around like, "Oh, woe is me," or anything of that sort. But when it comes to are we being singled out and unjustly treated? Yes, that's a fact. That's not a fear. You know what I mean? Operating in fear is a different thing than operating in fact. Go ahead, Doc.
He never said that we wasn't being victimized. He said he's tired of the fear-based. He said, I'm tired of this fear-based narrative, which is true. It is a trauma. He said trauma. He said, I'm tired of this trauma, fear-based narrative. It's a trauma and it's being passed down. It needs to be stopped. That's what he's saying. It is true that it's trauma fear-based. That's where it comes from. It comes from trauma, from over and over. That's how it became a fact. It's a fact and it's fear.
Yeah, but you're contradicting yourself.
He's only 16 years old, right?
Yeah,
and he's tired of it. And that's a great thing. That's
he hasn't experienced life. He ain't came up like us. He didn't know what Tuesdays and Thursdays meant for the hood.
Right.
Okay.
You ain't see, he ain't see his big brother and them spread out, bent over with their behind cheeks open, coughing in broad daylight with kids running around. He don't know none of that or whatever. And if you want to look at it like that, you won't see that on TV nowhere but in the Black neighborhoods or whatever, the impoverished neighborhoods in California, in the Mexican poverty-stricken neighborhoods. So yeah, he's still wrong.
I believe that because he didn't see none of that, that's a great thing. I believe the narrative, as far as like being a street dude, is not being like just glorified anymore. Like that's not what kids want to be anymore. That's a great thing that they're not experiencing that. That's the change that we need.
But
so,
again, preparing them for what they're gonna experience. We send them and we groom them, we coddle them. We send them to these good schools. We put them in these good programs. We don't make them play rec ball. They playing AAU. They not getting a taste of real world. Then they go to school, they graduate, they become successful when we throw them out there. And then we had an experience like the old boy, the lieutenant here or whatever, that got pepper sprayed, and didn't understand. And because he put on that uniform, he thought that it masked him being Black. You a Black man in a uniform or whatever. This is the things that happened. This is why he wasn't prepared. This is why he didn't follow directions, because he thought that, I'm in my uniform, I serve my country, I'm a lieutenant, I'm not going to be treated like a Black man with his pants hanging under his behind. Wrong.
Let me go with a couple of comments that we got here. Mel said there has to be a balance. There's a time to speak facts and point things that are happening to us to bring awareness. And at the same time, we don't have to dwell in that state. I agree. You know what I mean? But when we're bringing awareness, we will still receive backlash for bringing awareness. They will say that is us playing the victim card.
You're a crybaby.
Like, yeah, not the black victim card again, right? That's their favorite saying when you pointing out something that's being purely racist, or what people would consider a supremacy or a privilege, what I would consider ignorance. That's what I point out. I point out ignorance. But at the end of the day, what I was saying basically, what this kid is saying is a manifestation of my first law. Like law 1 states that you can't speak about a problem without a solution. So even if we are bringing awareness, every time we bring awareness, there should be a solution right behind it. This cannot be our narrative. This cannot be our narrative. No,
so
we cannot go on this. We cannot go on longer saying that.
Wait a minute. So what
that black people are getting killed because they're black. Hold up. Gotta change the narrative.
Hold up. Y'all good? Okay, I'm about to let. We're gonna let Peaches go because she's about to explode.
Okay, so you're saying have a solution or whatever. So you don't see the steps that we're taking, whatever. Jim, because we had a solution, because we were finding out it's other ways to kind of tip the table a little bit. We were silenced. Now we're fighting Jim Crow laws. It's no way around it. If you speak up, they're going to try to silence you. Now, if you got people like him leading and talking to these people in their school and telling them to shut up and they a victim because they talked about being talked down against, he is part of the fucking problem.
Lamar, what's good? Doc, go ahead.
I feel like him being 16, and they just throwing all these killings of young black men or black men period on TV over and over, and it's some of these killings and stuff are being turned into spectacles, and it is traumatizing for a teenager to be 16. To keep hearing that he can die because he's black. He don't want to hear that no more. He wants to change the narrative. There's nothing wrong with that.
Change it. They doing that. They doing this the peaceful protests. They're getting out and voting. They're raising young. We're trying
the way we change the narrative, Peaches, is by having unity more. The stronger our unity, the more we can change the narrative. We can control what's said about us. We cannot allow the world to keep saying that black people die because they're black. We cannot go on like that. No, we cannot.
Okay, so let's be stronger than that. So we still living like they before. Just we can speak of Tulsa. That was because they was black and successful. Martin Luther King, when he was killed, that was because he told us to take our monies out of these banks and stop paying for these big name brand and helping the rich get richer while we don't have any growth. He was killed for that. So you can't sit up here and say, it's not gonna be no recourse. And just because we unite, of course we'll have a bigger impact, and I'm not doubting that or whatever, but you gotta clean up your backyard first. That if everybody cleaning up their backyard, by the time they get finished cleaning that and their neighbors, we can do it that way. So yeah, you can unity, but you gotta take away some of the shit that people killing about. The disrespect that's no longer out here. These men killing you about a woman that's half naked on Instagram.
Right.
That's the kind of stuff that we can change. Or whatever. You are never going to change how a man that feels like he's superior to you treat you. And to even try to go and preach that, you
can change how you allow somebody like that, how you allow somebody to treat you. People only do what you allow them to do. We don't have to allow that, Peaches. I mean, me personally, it'll never be that I died because I was black. It'll be I died because I was fighting back. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And at the end of the day,
why was you fighting in the first place?
Exactly.
I was fighting in the first place because I was demanding respect. It is what it is.
Okay.
I got another comment I want to read off.
I'm not saying that there's not no victimizing going on, or I'm not being scrutinized because of the color of my skin. I'm not saying that, but there's no one going on with the fight.
16, but she's 19, closer to the age, and she said some black people have have been tired of seeing Black trauma such as slavery movies and police brutality on movies and on social media because they feel like industries have been capitalizing off of it.
I 1000%
that's true.
agree with it. You know what I mean? Because when you speak about trauma, trauma is an outside force. That you don't traumatize yourself. Something has traumatized you. And what is that something that has traumatized the Black community? It is the way that we are subjugated in the United States of America. Now, listen, let me just tell you what this week has been like for Black people. When we talk about trauma, let me just tell you what this week has been like. First of all, we have the lieutenant who was pepper sprayed for basically having his license plate in the wrong place, and it was a brand new vehicle. He got pepper sprayed. Then you have the Dante Wright situation. A lady couldn't tell the difference between a 4-pound gun and a 8-ounce taser that she had in her hand and pointed out. I seen it in the video footage just off of her body cam. So I know that she had to at least see and feel it. Plus, there's a safety on both of those things that she has to remove. One safety is very different from the other. So that's hold on. That's another thing. Baytown, Texas. This week we found out that 2 years ago, one of the officers shot a woman 5 times when she was in a mental health distress and she was pregnant. He shot her 5 times for no reason. That's another thing that came out this week that we got to deal with. The Army Sergeant Jonathan Pentland that stopped this boy in South Carolina and basically harassed him for walking around in his own neighborhood. And the young man did live in that neighborhood.
Right.
You put all of that on top of the fact that we still dealing with George Floyd's trial, which was a frog's ass hair away from being declared a mistrial this week.
Yeah.
This is what we deal with on a regular basis. It's outside influence, and people try to tell you that you're dealing in fear when you're dealing in fact. I'm not scared to go outside. I'm not scared to walk around in no neighborhood or anything like that. But the fact of the matter is that when I get in my vehicle, I fully am aware that if I get pulled over, I better find a way to conduct myself that is acceptable to this cop that's got his hand on his gun so that I can get back home to my family. And that's for one reason and one reason only, because I don't have a record. You see what I'm saying? So the trauma has to come from somewhere.
Right.
Another thing, I feel back on this taser. She pulled that gun up. You know, how many times we had to get gun call? You gotta shoot. You seen what you were shooting through because you had to line it up to hit him. You know what I mean? So
right.
A lot of it. So you picked that up, seen that whole yellow bottom, and felt it like didn't hit it to hold it, and you pulled it. You did that. I mean, you cuffed it. Like if it was the taser, you wouldn't have had to secure it. Not teacup, but you know you don't teacup. But you know she held it and pulled it. She did that. She know what she was doing.
She did.
Yeah,
and did
that's
you see
why
that
they
now we
charged
have her home
manslaughter.
barricaded. She has her home barricaded and she's under 24/7 police protection. Now the same state that has her under manslaughter charges is the same state that's using taxpayer money to barricade her home with a fence and provide 24/7 police protection, who are employees that the taxpayers pay.
Crazy.
It's retarded. Point to another time where a person who was a criminal who was up on manslaughter charges got 24/7 police protection.
Chauvin. Remember they had the police with the sticks and everything around his house, guarding his house.
Yeah, they were in a uniform.
City. So my thing is, we trying to bring these points to light, but we might be victimizing ourselves. But you know what's different about this case?
You know what the solution is to all this? In this victimizing ourselves and all that, like you had a point. You said
that's the narrative we need to drop. That's the narrative we got to drop. We're not victimizing ourselves at all.
Right. That's what the young man was saying.
To be black.
Where is it safe to be black? That's a good question.
Where is it safe to be black?
There's a lot of places safe to be black. You ain't been to Africa yet. That's the problem.
I have.
I've been to Africa.
There's a lot of places to be black. There's a lot of places to be
And
black.
guess what?
Listen.
That's prosperous.
Got the money.
Listen, hey, I've been to Africa.
Dubai, one of them too.
I've been to
It's
Africa.
safe in Dubai and be black.
And
That's
when
one
I
of the
got to
richest places
Africa,
to be.
And
when I got to Africa, they tried to jump me.
They tried to jump you in Africa?
Fact.
You probably was in the horror parts. I mean, it's going to be hoods everywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
You was begging. I don't know.
Devils everywhere now.
Yeah.
They tried to jump you in Africa.
Yeah.
But listen,
we was a tourist. We didn't belong.
The reason why we haven't been successful is because there's always an I person. There's always got to be one person leading. We can't keep going on with this one person as a leader and doing everything. Once it becomes we and us and not me and I, that's when we'll be successful. When it's we and us, when we are moving collectively as a group in every aspect of our atmosphere.
You need leaders. Everybody.
That is how it is done.
You need some chiefs.
Watch the ant. The Bible says it. The Quran says it. Anybody will tell you.
It's a pecking order, and it's gonna have to be some leaders. Absolutely can't be an Indian or whatever. So you're gonna have an eye, because that eye is gonna make sure we get what we need to be, united with somebody else. It's gonna need to be an eye. Everything.
But if we all moving on the same accord, even if they take out an eye, is always we all are eyes at some point.
You see,
I think the issue with having a singular leader. The issue I see with having a singular individual who we would say would be the leader. One is, I don't believe it would happen, for one, because we allow everything outside of the goal to keep us from unifying. You a Muslim, I'm a Christian. We can't work together. You a Republican, I'm a Democrat. We can't, you know what I'm saying? We can't work together. You light skinned, I'm dark skinned. We can't work together. We allow ourselves to be divided on lines that doesn't matter. Like, none of that really plays a part into us fully understanding and coming together to achieve the common goal. You know what I mean? And I think that we're just going to always have that struggle amongst ourselves that keeps us, you know what I'm saying, at not only having to kind of fight what's going on outside of us, but we can't even really work solidly on a large scale within ourselves. Or am I wrong?
It's too many. Everybody got to be the tough guy. Y'all been fighting suppression and everything for so long that it's hard for a group of men, what we call them in, like when we get selected for chief, out of everybody, it's a group of us. So right. To make us try to understand what's going on, they group us all as alpha personalities.
Right.
But at the end of the day, by the time we finish that initiation, you still got two people running it, and it probably ain't the ones that the other men selected. Right. So it's gonna be that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
So my man Ron G said, how many years have we been asking for these things to be on video? Now these things are being recorded and brought to true light. Is that not a good step? I think it is a good step, Ron G. But then it's that still ain't enough. It still ain't enough. You know what I mean? Like we sitting here holding our breath when there is clear video evidence of this man with his knee on George Floyd's neck, and we still are sitting here holding our breath like, man, I hope this dude is convicted. So I mean, if you're right, that is a good step. We've made some progress in the right direction, but that isn't, you know what I'm saying, necessarily enough.
You heard me? I ain't gonna hold my breath. I have to see, because we done been here,
Yeah.
Even with the Zimmerman stuff, like, even the steps that we thought, we just knew the way they prosecuted that everything was in the bag, it was zip. But guess what? We forgot. Oh, wait a minute, we victims. That man was black, he killed. But if we was a victim,
Hey, so my man Mars said the solution is more black-owned media. I don't know if that's the solution, but that's definitely a step in the right direction. The reason black victimization goes on is because these giant media corporations controlling the narrative and telling our stories. We need more podcasts like the Black-Owned Podcast, Man Down Podcast, and I Often Wonder podcast. I agree 100% because the media. I did some research before, maybe a year ago or something like that. And in that I found that the media is actually not run by the media; that it's literally run by the government, and that the government kind of tells the media which way to lean according to whatever the government's whim is. And
Can I
that's
ask y'all a
100
question?
and that's 100%
Sorry,
correct.
cut y'all off.
So I think that is a good thing. I mean, what I'm saying, having our own media.
It
It's the reason
depends.
why, and they said that was the reason why they went after Bill Cosby. They said that was the reason why they went after what was my man name who bought the Weather Channel. I can't remember, his name escapes me right now, but the black dude, he's still alive, fortunately. And he was also looking to buy a Tyler Perry to start a media company, right? But Tyler Perry, I salute Tyler Perry. I'm, what I'm saying, but
All I
kind of,
see was
kind of,
Medea.
he kind of like
I'm figuring it
assist
out.
in that, Sambo, what I'm saying,
Yeah,
sucking
like
and jiving type of, media. Byron Allen, that's his name, Mel. Byron Allen, yeah. So, I don't know about Tyler Perry. I mean, if he wanted to do that, I think he'd be a great asset. He definitely has the means, but if his whole goal is to kind of, be in that, I'm not really with it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
Then there, that.
yeah. And here's something else that people will always say. Well, black people kill more black people than anybody else. Y'all kill yourself. Black on black crime, so forth and so forth. I
It's a
went
false
and looked up
narrative.
the numbers.
But did you notice the same
It's
thing
a false
as far as
narrative.
what the white people do too?
I have numbers. So according to the Department of Justice, black people that are killed by black homicide that is at another hands of a black person is 93%. However, a white person who's died at the hands of another who was killed at the hands of another white person is at 84%. It's damn near the same.
Right.
Because all of that has to do with proximity. It's not like we walking around, what I'm saying? It's all has to do. The FBI numbers on the same topic says that black people kill black people at a rate of 89%, and that white people kill white people at a rate of 81%. So I mean the numbers are damn near identical. So that's the type of thing that I agree with Mel when we're talking about the narrative that the media has the means to push are things saying such as that.
For instance, the shootout that happened at the Virginia Beach oceanfront a couple
Right.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
It made world news as a mass shooting.
Right.
When the whole time it was a regular shootout. Like somebody pulled a gun, started shooting, the other people had a gun too, everybody started shooting. But when the next day, by the time it made it through media, everybody called on me, oh, Virginia Beach had another mass shooting. And I was like, oh, it was a shootout. Like, what you mean? Like a shootout, like in the hood? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
But they
completely different.
made this news because mass shooting was get more clicks because of the stability of the world right now than another black on black crime.
Right. So with Ron G,
I believe in the law of attraction.
Here's the thing about the NRA. The NRA has become a conglomerate of its own. No, because they have so much money and they fund so many politicians, you can't get people to speak out against them. Plus, there's a large piece of the public that are very sensitive when it comes to their Second Amendment rights. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want my Second Amendment rights taken away from me. I want to be able to
Nobody's Second
carry
Amendment
mine.
rights should be taken away
However,
from them.
do I believe it is necessary for a civilian person to have a AR-15? I do not. There's no reason for you to have an AR-15 right now.
I
would
disagree with that because then how are you going to go up against tyranny if they got AR-15s? That's the point of you having your guns anyway, is so that you can go up against the tyranny government.
On 52nd and Arch.
I believe you should have your AR-15s. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. I mean, everybody's not going to agree on that. That's not going to make me.
I'm just saying that's just my opinion though, because
I feel like
you cannot think that you're gonna defend yourself with handguns when people are coming with machine guns.
We're about to say
Let's
the
be
same
honest
thing.
with ourselves.
We teaching our
I'm
kids
with-
how to
And
play
especially look at
basketball
what's
and
going on in the
football.
world right now. It's about to be
What happened, Peter?
I said we teaching our kids how to play basketball and football, and hopefully there'll be that 1 in a million or 10 million, whatever it is, to make it big. They kids, they're going on camping trips, learning how to shoot AR-15s, rocket launchers, buying 60 acres of land and putting that sign up where it's private so no police can come through. They if y'all think for 1 minute that they not training their kids or whatever, especially how it's working and how these Democrats done did some BS. If y'all think that they not training their kids, you got another thing coming. They been training.
Right.
I know it's about. I know Russia is on the verge of launching a nuke on Ukraine.
Yeah.
So when you really look out the world, people think that like the world is changing. Really, like this reset is like the bridge to war. It's a reset, and then we gotta think about it as a people. Look, I'm not even just going to talk about just us black people as people. Period. How longer are we going to allow every 100 years for them to release a daily virus into the world? Like, we as a people just going to keep allowing the 6% of people in the world to keep dictating our lifestyle, to keep releasing things like viruses every 100 years, like the Spanish flu, now the coronavirus, like, or SARS and things like that? Like, how long are we going to keep allowing this? This is why I keep saying, and I keep screaming unity and fight back, because it's something that's a must.
That 6%.
That 6% is trying to be. It's now.
You can't fight it. This is what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, we do need to unify or whatever, but you know what percentage of the population we make up? You know you can't build up
the majority.
Yeah, we the minority or whatever. You can't build a fort.
The minority on paper.
Nobody outside the fort that help defend it. Defend it. You gotta get some people, like-minded people, just like all the white collar white men have kind of migrated to Democratic views since the Trump era. Look it up or whatever. But we keep talking about this pro-black and this, and yeah, we gotta do that or whatever. But we gotta find a way to make everybody else understand our language. Until they understand where we coming from. Like, I can go in a room right now, and men are attracted to me, black men, or I can sit and have a conversation with Mark, and it can get heated, and I'm not considered aggressive. But me as a woman, if I go somewhere and I'm not with like-minded people, they not understanding where I came from because they don't understand the culture. They don't understand the struggle. They don't understand. They gonna see an angry black woman and they gonna go immediately on the offensive. I did 20 years in the military.
Yep.
You gotta, now I'm a woman. Now imagine that being a black man. And especially if there's no guns around, it's no knives. They either got to do some MMA or they got to shoot a fair one with you or respect you. It's going to be hard. They're going to do whatever they can to keep you from excelling or be in competition. Unless you got one or two and a couple and y'all click up and y'all good and y'all like real life brothers, you're not going to break their mold because they're trained that they're more superior. And this is a world that we're going to keep fighting. And it's no out for. Everybody keep talking about a solution. Ain't no solution from toppling that man, since the black mad scientists made them or whatever, into telling them and download like them 400 years of slavery, all that shit. They've been the superiors for that long. So you telling us we gonna reverse that and it's gonna be no recourse?
Yes, that. I mean, it's
listen.
we had it had to be recourse for America to be America.
When you fight back and you're fighting, you gotta expect to get hit. I mean, fight. Listen, get knocked down so you can learn how to fight. Fight, and just keep fighting. Where do you think the CCP? Listen, where do you think the CCP came from? There was democracy in China. They traveled and built that power that they have now, and telling everybody in that area, we are one. That's what's going on right now with Taiwan and all that. They're saying we're one. We're one.
You're gonna need
They
more
had to build that up. Nobody would have never thought that the CCP would be this powerful today that they are right now.
Can
If
you
you look at history,
like 5 people from China, and if they don't work outside, tell who is who?
so for us,
You
we
drop
gotta
them
start teaching our kids who's
restaurant.
really. I'm not gonna say we gotta start. It's been going on. We already people are teaching our kids who's really superior, who really has
No,
a
but
direct
that's
connection with the sun.
answer my
Teaching
question.
our kids that the sun
And
is the
that's to
first
go
source
do
of food,
something like China.
and that you're
Oh,
directly
listen
connected
to
to
what
it.
China did. If you take 5 people from China and none of them work out in the fields, no labor, cut their nails, line them up. Can tell which one is the minority one, which one is the black Chinese person, which one is a middle class, and which one is upper?
No, I don't know.
Exactly. So you keep talking about what they did in China. They all look alike. You know, not literally. I'm not saying that.
I don't understand.
We come to shade. You know, look at them, and they can defeat you strategically because you don't know who is who or whatever. You know, they can mingle and intertwine and live amongst the people. They're not going to stick out. They all the same.
You can tell who's rich and who's not over there. That's not. You can. The rich people do live. They live lavish. The people that's doing well over in China, their economy is booming. Peaches, what are you talking about?
You're missing my point.
You can tell.
Oh Lord.
You missing
I understand
my point.
what you're saying. Then we gotta be strategic. It's not checkers, it's chess. I understand what you're saying. We gotta be strategic then. But at the end of the day, you make it seem like it's hopeless. And I don't live on a hope basis. I live on facts. And the fact is that I'm gonna keep fighting. And I'm gonna expect to get punched. And I'm gonna keep punching back.
I'm not being hopeless.
I'm not. Ain't no white person superior to me. I'm superior to them.
Okay,
they're not even humans.
You ain't gotta convince me. You preaching to the choir.
They're mankind. Even the Chinese people, mankind.
I know the fight, honey.
All right. So Ron G said the world is really not changing. Things that have been happening, the information and news of what's happening are just traveling so fast and too fast to process. Again, just like everything that's happening this week. If every day you turned on the TV this week, something else, some type of other, happening was going on with between somebody and a black person where the black person ended up assaulted or killed.
Right.
I mean, that's just what I'm saying, that's the name of what it is. But let me read y'all a piece from this article in the Beacon called Black Self-Victimization, a myth created by people that don't want to address the realities of racism. And what it says is the myth of black self-victimization blames black people for their position in America and ignores the actual problem at hand. Self-victimization is not a valid conversation against those oppressed, especially if it has been proven time and time again that they are not willing victims either. So it's not like we out here like, yo, victimize me, fam.
Yeah.
No, you know what I'm saying? That's not, you know what I'm saying, what's going on. And people who go against the notion of black victimization are saying exactly that. Like we're just out here looking for some type of way to become a victim. That sounds crazy. You know what I mean? And the reason why they're doing that is because they don't want to deal with the reality of racism. And
or
that it exists.
Ramifications of somebody speaking their mind and
Right.
And having that voice, like y'all say, we gotta all work. It's gotta be a leader. You know, somebody you can't work with. If I'm not gonna work with somebody named Mouse, you know, they might be a fuck. You know, you're gonna have these strong. You're gonna need leaders to unite us, regardless. You know, you can't have it. That job ain't for the meek.
Right.
We have leaders already. Y'all follow.
I don't know if y'all remember the
and Dr. Umar's and all. We got the leaders already. They just narcissists. They don't want. They all produce themselves, and that's the problem.
That's a fact.
They don't want to come together to show unity, to bring us together.
Okay, so then we need some
new. Then what?
So are they leaders?
What? The other leaders that's not really big or want to step up and be leaders, we not following them.
In order to be a successful leader, you got to know how to follow. If I got to worry about what y'all doing up in the making the big decisions, and I'm the fucking pawn, and you the goddamn knight and the queen, y'all ain't getting along.
Right.
Then exactly. You know what I'm saying? That what track I'm supposed to follow.
Okay, you gotta get that's not a leader. If they can't find a way to put their differences aside to meet a mission, I'm not gonna consider them as leaders.
Absolutely. I mean, and also think about this. Do y'all remember the case about the Affluenza teen? The Affluenza teen, his name was Ethan Couch. He was they said that he killed 4 people while he was drunk driving back in 2013. And the judge gave him probation and said that he suffered from affluenza. Affluenza is supposedly a condition that some people suffer from because their social and financial status is so high that they don't know how to consider right from wrong.
What?
Yeah.
What's the name of that called? It's called Influenza.
No, affluenza.
That's the old boy who made that video head, the little 16-year-old got affluenza.
That's some like an ignorant ass white people shit that somebody wrote to get away with some crime.
But I'm just saying, think about that. And I mean, he got off on parole when he killed 4 people, bro, by drunk driving. And he was a white teenager, and the judge gave him probation. It goes right along with what's the dude name? His name was Brock something. He was a swimmer. The judge would not put him in jail because he said the boy had a bright future.
Yeah,
but you know how many? But then now listen. Now these are white teenagers. Now think about it. We just had a judge in Pennsylvania who was convicted of actually having juveniles who came in his court sent directly to prison with no with no real reasoning.
Yeah.
And these were all black children. And they found out about it somehow, and now he was convicted to life in prison. But I mean, that don't take away 28 some odd years that you put these boys in prison. Some of these boys been in there the whole 28 years. 16 years old. He come out, he over 40.
And my thing is, so that's what I'm saying. We gotta be able to
conversation going on with that case.
And that's like with him, that affluenza. He was defined as not speaking the rest of the world's language, pretty much. And that's what we is as black people. We can't make people they can't understand our struggle because they ain't experienced it. You know,
hey, Ron G, and this bombshell just dropped from Chicago. We are going to have to watch a video of a 13-year-old boy get shot.
Oh wow.
Ron G, did that just happen? Let me know, Ron G, if that just happened. And what the circumstances are behind that. Lamar said that's crazy as a mess in the world. Myself has never asked for that victimization. Like, you don't ask for victimization. I've never met a black person asking to be victimized. Who came up with that definition? It's the definition that's in the actual dictionary.
That's why we need to change the narrative. We can't keep allowing people to speak for us. We can't keep allowing people that not like us our enemy to speak for us.
We're talking about change the narrative. I'm with you on that. But we can't change the narrative when we don't operate singularly. We don't operate in that type of way. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something.
You saying we don't move as a group?
You know, me and Peaches was in the military, right?
Yeah.
And I'm on everything I love, and I have like very close Filipino friends. I actually just went and visited one while I was in Vegas. Before I got in the military, I never heard of Filipinos. I never knew that was a race of people. When listen, I never heard of them, right? When I first got there, I thought they were Mexicans. But then, of course, you know what I'm saying, I found out that they were, I'm just being honest. I found out that these, people are Filipinos. Bruh, when I tell you, no matter what, from the strongest link to the person whoever leading to the weakest link, you will never find them out of line with one another. Nope. It's not going to happen, bro.
They call
I don't care what type of thing that you know what I'm saying. You've not seen a unified front until you've seen the way that Filipinos act in the Navy. That's what I'm gonna say, because that's what I know. You don't know what unity is until you've seen that. and that will tell you what if we
Because
can't look like that,
these
we'll never get it together.
Well,
Yeah,
that's how
but
we
you
gotta
know,
look then. That's a perfect example that we gotta take from.
always call each other bro and stab each other in the back for an eval. You know, like
Right.
you know, the Filipinos, if they got a thing, they'll even negotiate with you. Hey, you can get
Yeah.
number one, but we want number two and number three, and we gonna
To
give you
be
number four. So if
fact.
you're on the same team as them and y'all see eye to eye going into a say let a quarter meeting or a eval meeting, y'all together, you gonna win every time. I just used to love it. Like they like, you know, I'm
Fact.
an honorary member.
Yeah, you hear me? You know what I mean? You know, and hey man, and I'm telling you, and I you know, like I said, you know what I'm saying, I got like my man in Vegas, he like family to me, to tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? But
The
I
one
just
that got
I'm
the
saying
red
when I
coat.
came into the military, it's just I just was ignorant of it. I just didn't know, you know what I mean? Like, you know, that you know there was a race of people called, you know what I'm saying, Filipinos. But we getting close to the end of the show, man. I wanna you know what I'm saying, make sure that that we close out on a high note, and that is you know, with a good word. You know what I'm saying? The Bible tells us that a wise man, no, oppression makes a wise man mad. There you go.
Yeah,
Oppression makes a wise man mad. So even the Bible understands that you can't be sane just walking around here seeing the type of stuff that we see on a daily basis, especially when I got you know what I'm saying, male children, you know what I'm saying, walking around here in this world or whatnot, and you know, and females, you know what I'm saying, as well, who been, you know, who could come up missing, don't nobody care, you know, thousands of black girls missing across the country, you know what I'm saying, nobody, you know what I'm saying, cares. What I really would love, and one day when I find the right people, is I would love to have this type of conversation that's open and candid, and then have some of my white counterparts join in on the conversation. So because it's a hard conversation to have, but it's one that, you know what I'm saying, we need to have.
What you gonna get?
I don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? I don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying.
You gonna still be friends. You know you gotta be prepared to sever a friendship over that show.
We'll see. You know what I'm saying? we'll see. You know, I've had some hard conversations with some people.
Their language, they don't speak your language.
Oh, I know that. I know that, right? I definitely know that, and they know that.
The translator, what y'all gonna do?
And then Ron G, you're right. That's tough. That's gonna be hard. You know what I'm saying? But you know, one day when we find the right person, you know what I mean, we'll have them on or whatever. Maybe Peaches will find them.
No, I ain't. Y'all need my stock options. The hell y'all talking about?
All right, man. This Black Owned Podcast, man. We about to bid you adieu, and let me not forget to tell y'all, man, to follow us on all of the social media platforms at Black Owned Podcast. Make sure y'all following us, even on TikTok. I don't never mention TikTok, but we on TikTok. Only reason I'm gonna mention it because we got a post up there that's got 85,000 views. So make sure y'all go and follow us on TikTok as well at Black Owned Podcast. We still sitting at about 750 here. Still sitting in the 50s on YouTube, man. I need y'all to go to YouTube, hit that subscribe and notification button for me, man. Other than that, man, it was another good conversation. Doc Reed, you know what I'm saying? Love and light, King. Always good to have you.
Don't block me on social media.
Doing that unity,
you know what I'm saying? Unity.
yeah, like the Philippines, but better.
I hear you. You know what I'm saying?
He knows, yeah.
Yeah.
Just good conversation. I like it. Thank you.
I like it, man. Peace, y'all.
We got it, and
I don't hate, I motivate my people to elevate and rise above the fray to show God is great. Not blasphemous, but magnanimous, without any animus to show that they're fabulous. With a little bashfulness being the catalyst.